Once upon a time in the ancient village of Umeze, two brothers were brave and born into the royal family. The elderly was Obinna, strong, wise, and loved by the people. The younger was Chibuzo, brave but filled with jealousy. From childhood, Chibuzo hated how people always praised Obinna. When their father, the old king, was about to die, he called the elders and declared, "When I leave this world, Obinna shall be king. He has the heart of a leader." The people rejoiced, but in Chibuzo's house, evil burned like fire. The day came. The old king was buried with drums and song. Obinna sits on the throne, crowned with red feather and white chalk on his face. The people shouted, "Long life, King Obinna." But Chibuzo stood quickly at the back, his fast tight, his eyes sharp like a knife. Days turned into weeks. King Obinna ruled with kindness. He listened to the poor, shared food with the hungry, and settled quarrels with families. But the more the people loved him, the more Chibuzo's house grew bitterly. One night, as the moon watched silently, Chibuzo whispered to himself, "If Obinna lives, I will forever be in his shadow. I must take the throne for myself." He began to plan. He went to the shrine in the forest where the priest of the dark spirit lived. There, he offered echoes, palm wine, and cows. He begged, "Spirit, help me. I want my brother gone. I want the throne." The priest warned him, "Blood calls for blood. If you do this, the land will never rest." But jealously blinded Chibuzo. He nodded and agreed. One night Chibuzo entered the palace gently. King Obinna was asleep, his throne resting on a stool. Without mercy, Chibuzo struck his own brother. The mighty King Obinna breathed his last breath in silence. When morning came, the people found their king lifeless. Tears filled the village. Chibuzo pretended to cry louder than anyone, but deep inside his heart danced with victory. Soon he was crowned king. At first, he thought he had won. He wore the crown, he sat on the throne, and the people bowed before him. But slowly the land began to change. The sky grew dark, the rivers dried, children fell sick, the doors of Umez lost their sound, the spirits of the land were angry. An evil night. When Chubos tried to sleep, he heard a voice whispered in the dark, "Brother, brother, why did you kill me?" He could not rest. His eyes became red. His body grew weak. One day, as he stood in the palace, he saw Chibuzo's and he saw Bina's shadow rising from the ground. The people saw nothing, but Chibuzo screamed, dropped his crown, and fell dead before everyone. The elders gathered and said, "This is what jealous does. A man who killed his own brother can never rule in peace." The land mourned again, but slowly with prayers and sacrifice. Peace returned. The people of Omega could not believe what had happened. Their beloved king Obinna, who was kind and just, was gone, and the final drum that was beat in joy were silent. Women wept in the marketplace, and children cried without knowing why. Chibuzo, the younger brother, acted as if he shared their pain. He walked slowly behind Obinna's body during the burial, beating his chest sharply. "Oh, my brother, my king, why did you leave me so soon?" The villagers shook their hands and whispered, "This man truly loved his brother. See how he cries." But deep inside Chibuzo's heart was dancing. He thought to himself, "Now the throne is mine. No one can stop me." The elders gathered in the palace with heavy hearts. They placed the crown on Chibuzo's head. The chief elder spoke. "From today you shall be called King Chibuzo of Umeze. May the spirits guide you." The villagers bowed and shouted, "Long life the king." But their voices sounded weak. It was not like when Obinna was grounded. Something felt wrong. That night, why the people went home quickly. The palace was filled with shadows. Chibuzo sat on the throne, his eyes shining with pride. He touched the crowd and whispered, "At last, I'm king." But then he felt something strange. The crown seemed heavy on his head, as if it carried a curse. The next morning, dark could cover the sky. Rain refused to fall. Farmers planted seed, but nothing grew. The river where the people fetched water began to sink. The villagers came to the king, crying, "My king, help us! Our children are sick. The land is dying." Chibuzo shouted at them, "Go, do I look like a healer? Leave my palace." The people went away, but they had begun to suspect that the spirits were angry. That same night, Chibuzo woke up sweating. He heard a voice in the corner of his room. "Brother, brother, why did you kill me?" He turned quickly, but there was no one there. Only the sound of the wind moving the palace. The following night, the voice came again loudly. "Chibuzo, my blood," cried from the ground. This time, Chibuzo saw a shadow. It was King Obinna, dressed in white with blood on his chest. His eyes were sad, not angry, but they burned into Chibuzo's heart. Chibuzo screamed, "Leave me alone, you are dead, I'm the king now." The guide rushed in, but they saw nothing. The king was shaking like a leaf. From that day, Chibuzo could not eat. He could not sleep. He sat on the throne with red eyes. His blood thick like firewood. The people looked at him and whispered, "Our king is not well. The gods are punishing him." One market day, Chibuzo gathered the village. He wanted to prove he was still strong. He stood before them in the palace square and shouted, "I'm your king. You must obey me." But as he raised his hand, he saw Obina's shadow rising from the ground again. This time it was not only Chibuzo who saw it. Some elders gasped, children screamed, and women fell on the ground crying. Chibuzo dropped the staff of authority, his body shaking. He turned to run, but his leg failed him. He shouted, "Forgive me, brother, forgive me." Then, before everyone, he fell feet on the ground. His crowd ran away and he gave his last breath. The land was silent, not even a bird sang. The elders lifted the crowd and said, "Blood cannot build a kingdom. Jealous has destroyed our king." That night, rain finally fell. They rose again. The farm grew green and the people of Umeze know that peace had returned. Please like my story, subscribe and comment.